Windows 7 is still undoubtedly to this day many people's favorite operating system, and there's still a surprising amount of people that still use this operating system to this day, even though it has been out of support for years at this point. Despite the growing security risk that you have whenever you still run Windows 7, many people still refuse to upgrade to a modern version of Windows for a variety of different reasons. Some people just like the simplicity of Windows 7, or they really love the arrow theme that it had, and others like that there's no bloatware or spyware added by default like what's in modern versions of Windows. You know, it almost kind of reminds you of the phase that Windows XP had in the mid-2010s, after its support ended, where many people still stuck with Windows XP, way after its support ended. But despite people's reasonings for sticking with Windows 7, the reality is that now that it's been out of support for multiple years at this point, many applications are dropping their support for this version of Windows. Which brings us to the video I'm doing today. What can you actually still run on Windows 7? Well, I went out and found a few modern programs and gave them a try. But before we do get into this video, remember to go ahead and like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below of what you thought about this video, and let me know of any future video ideas. I'm always open for that. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and let's get right into the video. Before we get into the main part of this video though, let's go ahead and get a little bit of backstory on Windows 7. Windows 7 was first announced back on October 13th of 2008 and was released 1 year later on October 22nd of 2009. Essentially, Windows 7 is just a more polished and complete version of Windows Vista. And by the time 2009 came around, many tech companies had already upgraded their hardware to support an operating system like Windows 7. The majority of the changes in Windows 7 were pretty minor. Visually, the arrow theme had been tweaked a little bit, and the taskbar is wider. But if you don't like the wider taskbar, you can change it back to the Windows Vista one, or at least one that's kind of similar. A cool thing about the taskbar in Windows 7 is that this was the first version of Windows that lets you pin an application to the taskbar. This new feature replaced the quick launch toolbar that was in previous versions of Windows, and it is still part of Windows to this day. The gadgets from Windows Vista have also stuck around, but they did remove that sidebar off the desktop. I know some people liked it, some didn't. I actually kind of like that sidebar, but you can still pin your gadgets to the desktop without it. They also did replace that really bad boot screen from Windows Vista that I talked about in the Vista video, and they replaced it with the really cool and animated one with the Windows logo, which is good because out of all of the changes that Windows Vista had visually, it's sad that it probably had one of the worst boot screens out of any version of Windows. Due to all of these improvements from Windows Vista and it having a much better launch, the reception to Windows 7 was extremely good, and there's still many people to this day that will consider Windows 7 their favorite operating system. And really, the only reason why a lot of people still don't use it is because Microsoft ended support for it. And since Microsoft dropped support of Windows 7, that also means many applications are also dropping their support. Which brings us to our video today. What can we actually still run on Windows 7 in 2024? Well, to find out, I went ahead and opened up VMware, created a Windows 7 virtual machine, installed Windows 7, and started downloading applications. So without further ado, let's see what I managed to get running. Okay, so here we are with the beautiful Windows 7 desktop. I mean, this is extremely cool. I do kind of prefer Vistas a little bit more, but I don't know, this background and all of that, it's really cool. Now, before we actually start installing stuff and seeing what actually works, let's kind of take a look around. You guys have noticed, just like in the Windows Vista video, the arrow theme has been turned off, probably because we're in the VM. We'll see, so we just had a sound play. Let's see if this, how do we change this? Is it going to let me change it? Why hasn't it changed? Whoa. Okay, it's changing that. Why is it not changing? That's weird. Maybe it probably has something to do with me not having any like hardware acceleration. That's probably why. So that doesn't really matter. We can kind of skip that. Let's go check out some of the default programs that came with Windows 7. By the way, this is Windows 7 Ultimate. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but yeah, let's just in case I didn't. These are our default games, a lot more than Windows Vista. We have the like internet checkers and spades and stuff like that. We have that Purple Place or whatever that's called that was in Windows Vista that I had no idea what it was, and I still have no idea what it is. But as you guys see, I don't have any of that installed on this virtual machine. So yeah. Now, it wouldn't be a Windows 7 video without me mentioning Solitaire, so here we go. I don't know why we need hardware acceleration for Solitaire, but oh god. Yeah, this thing's really struggling. So yeah, this is Solitaire. I'm not the greatest Solitaire player of all time, so yeah. Guess we got a couple there, but that's Solitaire. That's what it looks like. I think, are we, yeah, we can change appearance on this too. I really like that red one from, yeah, that was a really cool look. Oh god. I didn't like that. Okay, so that was it. That is Solitaire. That's the default game for that. Don't save. We have Chest, which since I don't have 3D hardware acceleration, it's going to not be 3D chess, it's going to be 2D chess, so that's unfortunate. We also have Minesweeper and all that. Free Cell, and then back in the day you could get more games from Microsoft, but unfortunately you can't anymore. But there are probably some other default programs in here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, no, oh wait, we do have gadgets. I almost forgot about these. We have like our clock, CPU meter, that's cool. CPU meter was freaking amazing. I wish they still had that today for Windows. You have the weather, which doesn't get updated anymore. You can exit out of that. But yeah, you even have your like calendars and stuff like that. It's really cool. And I wish gadgets were still around today. Unfortunately, they're not. But yeah, I guess the only thing I kind of miss is that sidebar that Windows Vista had. I wish they kind of would have left that around, but oh well. Either way, let's get into actually installing some programs. I have some programs here. I have like the Brave browser, GIMP, GOG, Steam, Notepad++, VLC for the two people that still use that, WinRAR, and Shotcut, like the video editor. Now, you guys might be wondering why did I pick Opera. I just assumed Opera would support Windows 7. I mean, it supported Windows XP for years, and yeah, so I figured it would definitely still be supporting Windows 7. So I went on the Chrome website, and it does say it's for Windows 8.1, 8, and 7 64-bit. But this won't be, this will be a version that's no longer supported. So we can download this. We can have Chrome, or we can use Google Chrome, but it is an older version. I mean, it won't be as secure. And like I said at the beginning of this video, you shouldn't be using Windows 7 at all. This is really just an experiment to kind of have fun with it and see what we can still do with this operating system. So definitely don't try to install this on your main system. Here we go. It will do its typical setup, and we can stop using Opera. I installed the Brave browser just because I was curious if it would work with this. I'm not sure if it will, but let's install Chrome first. Let's get this out of the way. Alright, so there we go. We have Google Chrome installed. We can now get out of Opera. Launch Google Chrome, and there we go. I'm not signing in, but oh well. We'll just have the default one. Okay, cool. Nope, we're not signing in. No thank you. Have YouTube here. I wonder what the guest account's going to look like on here. What kind of videos will be popping up for us. Oh, it doesn't. That's unfortunate. It was always cool looking at like what a new account, like what kind of videos it would like show you, but it doesn't do that anymore, so that's unfortunate. Either way, let's try the Brave browser just because I'm curious. No update is available. So yeah, it doesn't support Windows Vista, or doesn't support Windows 7 anymore. Sorry, I keep mixing these two up. So it doesn't support Windows 7 anymore, unfortunately. So now we can go to GIMP. Let's try to install GIMP. This should definitely still support Windows 7. And here we go. So yeah, this should definitely still support 7. I would install Photoshop, but I don't own Photoshop, so whether it still supports 7 or not, who knows. So this is pretty close to Photoshop. It's kind of a dumbed down version of it. It's kind of a little bit more broken, but it's still usable. And I make all my thumbnails in GIMP, so it's definitely usable. Alright, so GIMP is done installing. Let's open it up. It might take a bit to load up since we're on a virtual machine. But here we go. It is loading for the first time. Sometimes it takes a little bit. And here we go. Go full screen. Create a new 1920 by 1080 image, and yeah. Let's see. Get paintbrush here. Yeah, and it all works. So that is cool. So you can definitely still use GIMP on Windows 7, so that's good. You can still make thumbnails and all that. So that's good. I guess that one part is usable. Another thing that would probably be very useful for people is like LibreOffice. I would imagine this also still works. This is the x86 and 64-bit versions of this. It's the same. I don't think there was a 64-bit installer for this. So here we go. We'll have it do the typical installation. Have it create a shortcut, and here we go. This might take a bit. Alright, and the installation for LibreOffice is complete. Open that up. And here we go. We'll open up a writer document since a calc spreadsheet would probably kill this VM. And here we go. I guess that's the only thing I could come up with, but it's functional. Either way, that works. So you can still use LibreOffice, or you could probably just download like an old version of Microsoft Word or something. That would probably still work. In terms of like VLC, I assume this still should work. I don't really know of anybody that still uses this. We'll try it anyway. Alright, so that's finished. Like I said, I don't really know of anybody that still uses VLC Media Player, but it works if you need it, and it's still dying on me here. So here we go. We will do WinRAR next, since that'll be pretty important. This is also another one that should definitely work. You can install. And yep. And there we go. That is done. So we now have WinRAR. Can now use WinRAR. Yep, here we go. So you can just the basic functions of WinRAR, does all the things that you would imagine it would do. So the next thing I want to look at is Shotcut, a good video editor. This is the video editor I actually started on. Well, not counting the Windows Movie Maker from back in the Windows Vista days. But this is the first like real like step up that I took, like the first real video editor that I started using. And it's still a pretty powerful video editor, and if you have a lower end PC, Shotcut is actually pretty good to use. So yeah, let's let this install, see if it'll actually run on here or not. Alright, so that is complete now. We'll close that out and we will see. We'll try to open up Shotcut. Now this may or may not work. Oh, well, I also don't have OpenGL either, so this likely works on Windows 7, but since I'm on a VM, it's not going to work properly, so that's okay. It at least probably runs on Windows 7, so yeah. Now we're going to get into some things now that I'm not sure if they work or not. Well, besides Notepad++, like I know that works. Let's try like Steam. Now I heard that Steam dropped the support for Windows 7, so let's see if we can actually install it. I kind of doubt it. So it's at least downloading the updates. That's farther than I thought we would get. And holy crap, it actually launched. I'm kind of shocked by this actually. Let me use the QR code to log in here. Okay, so let's see. We're logged in now. Let's see if it'll let me run it. Steam will stop running on Windows 7 in 0 days. I'm kind of shocked this is still running. I am actually shocked. I was kind of thinking like this wouldn't run, but it actually, holy crap, it actually is. Okay, so yeah, let's go to my home page. Let's install one of the Lego games. Let's install the Complete Saga real quick. Oh, I don't have enough space on this drive. That's unfortunate. Hold on, let me fix that real quick. Alright, so I created a new disk in the virtual machine, have it all partitioned in NTFS, so now we can actually try to install this on this computer. So let's see. Well, it's not letting me install it yet. Let's see, is there another disk we could use? Add a drive. Yes, that one. Thank you. There we go. Alright, now we can install it. We'll accept that, and there we go. It is now installing. Any other games that I have that's kind of from that era? I guess the Old Republic maybe. Or maybe from this era, the Old Republic. But yeah, other than that, not really much. We're gonna let the Complete Saga install. While we're at it, or while that's going, we're going to go to GOG Galaxy. We're going to see if this still works. Now, this one I would also be very shocked if this still works. Maybe not as much as Steam, but I would still be pretty shocked if this worked. I typically try to buy games on GOG when I can, because they're DRM free. I don't buy as many games as I should on there, but unable to connect to GOG.com, please check my internet connection. Okay, so I'm connected to the internet, so that's probably not the problem. I doubt that, I guess it just can't connect to the servers because I'm on Windows 7, so that's unfortunate. I kind of figured I wouldn't be able to connect to there. Oh yeah, Notepad++, we need to go ahead and install that real quick, finish that, and there we go. This is just pretty much just Notepad. Either way, we're going to go ahead and let the Complete Saga install, and I will be back when it is ready. So after a little bit, the Complete Saga finished installing, but I wasn't done running into issues yet, because whenever I launched the game, it said I needed a graphics card with Pixel Shader 1.1 installed. So I kind of figured, well, if I want to play any sort of games on this, I might as well just go ahead and install the VMware Tools. So that's what I did. If you don't know what VMware Tools is, it's just a bunch of drivers that works on VMware. It pretty much just gives an operating system a little bit more functionality whenever it's running on VMware. I actually probably should have done this at the beginning of the video, because this fixes that issue we had with the arrow theme, so I don't know why I didn't just do this sooner. But now that we have some drivers installed, we can now launch our game, well, in theory, because whenever I tried to launch the Complete Saga, it literally was just a black screen. And I never really figured out what caused this, and I could never fix it, which is unfortunate because we played LEGO Star Wars on pretty much all of the other Windows videos that we've done, or at least tried to. But for whatever reason it doesn't work on here. It's definitely because of the VM, it's not because of Windows 7. I know DirectX 9's installed, so that's not the issue, so whatever the issue is, I haven't been able to figure it out. So I went ahead and installed the original Battlefront, and it actually worked outside of the resolution being completely messed up, to the point I couldn't even fix it, so that was unfortunate. But hey, at least it did run. I did also try out Shotcut again, because I figured most of its issues probably had to do with the lack of drivers, and I was right because it actually launched this time. I did also install Dolphin to see if it would work on here, and it made me get the 2022 C++ redistributable, so I had to install that. But I tried to launch it and it failed to launch for some reason. It's probably because of the virtual machine though. But it might not support Windows 7, so I'm not really sure, it doesn't say. So after I tried Dolphin, I went ahead and went back on Steam and installed Half-Life, just to say that we did get one game to work on this virtual machine. And it ran just fine, well, besides the mouse, because the mouse movements were insane. Like, I could barely touch the mouse and it would like freak out, so yeah. But other than that, the game functioned and it was actually pretty good. But other than that, that's about all I have for Windows 7, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know a lot of you guys have really been wanting a Windows 7 video pretty much ever since I did the Windows XP video, and then especially after I did the Windows Vista video. I know I didn't do everything that I wanted to do in this video, and I would much rather do this with actual hardware, but I just don't have the means to do that right now, so the virtual machine worked for what we were doing. But I want to say a special thanks to my super supporters on screen here. They really help the channel keep growing, and if you would like to become a channel member yourself, hit that join button down below and become a member of one of the 2 tiers and you'll get some perks. But if you like this video, please leave a like, and if you want more content like it, please subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.